So, New Orleans Pelicans season preview. Last year, they finished with a 31-41 record, and they are the 11th seed in the West, which was a disappointing season. They did lose a lot of close games, but they had a bad defense, and Stan Van Gundy really wasn't the right coach for them, and overall, it just wasn't a good season. This offseason, they drafted Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. They re-signed Josh Hart. They lost Lonzo Ball, Steven Adams, and Eric Bledsoe, though I don't think they'll mind losing Bledsoe, whereas they added Devonte Graham, Tomas Satoransky, and Jonas Valanciunas. If I look at a projected starting lineup, at point guard, Devonte Graham. Last season, he averaged 15 points, 5.5 assists, while shooting 38% from 3 and a similar percentage from inside the arc. I think at this point, Graham, he really just can't score inside the arc, but his three-point shooting is very valuable. So I think that's going to be his main role in this team, which is fine. They have Zion, they have Brandon Ingram. They need spacing around those guys, and Graham's a good candidate. He shoots deep threes. I think his percentages on catch and shoots are very good. Some of his off-the-dribble threes aren't actually that great, but he's able to space the floor, and he's able to give them some ball handling, some playmaking. And overall, I think he is a good fit with them. Defensively, he's short. He's a bit of a liability, but I don't think this team is going to be very good defensively anyway. So I like that at least he fits offensively with their main guys. At shooting guard, could be a couple of guys. I've gone for Nikhil Alexander-Walker. Last season, he averaged about 11 points a game. And I like that he can self-create. He has good ball handling. He's sort of a herky-jerky, twisty player and can easily get a bucket. He's also a willing three-point shooter. His percentage wasn't great last year, but he has good form. You'd expect him to be shooting them at least league average, especially on catch and shoot, which is good. As I mentioned, they need shooting around their main two guys. And yeah, he's still young. I think he has a lot of potential with what he can do with the ball, how he can get to his own shot, and his shot-making abilities. So I would expect him. I think he'll start, and I think he'll definitely play a key role for this Pelicans team. At small forward, Brandon Ingram. Last year, he averaged 24 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. I think Ingram is a very complete player, and I think his shot making, how he can get to the mid-range, how he can get to the basket, might be a little bit underrated because he is so long and he is so crafty. He's very good at getting his own shot and, playing for himself. But some things he needs to work on is the defense. I think it took a step back last year. It's part of the reason why the Pelicans weren't a good defensive team. So he really needs to commit to being a good defender because he has the capabilities. He's obviously super long and all that. So yeah, I also think his playmaking, 5 assists a game, I think at times it's good, but at times he has a bit of tunnel vision and is just looking for his own shot. So that can improve. But overall, if I talk about a bit about the fit with Ingram and Zion, I don't think it's bad. I think Ingram can obviously shoot the three, but I think Zion is definitely the main guy. So Ingram needs to be able to adapt his game to be a good second option. Obviously, there's still going to be times where he is going to create his own shot, and that's going to be his main thing. But the playmaking, the defense, those also have to get better. And then at power forward, Zion Williamson. Last year, 27 points a game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, an insane shooting percentage. I mean, he's just a beast in the paint. We haven't seen anything like this ever before. Just how he gets in the paint, how he can finish so well with his athleticism and his jumping ability, but also his control, his ability to get to the free throw line. I mean, he's like a guaranteed super efficient 25 points per game plus every night. And it's honestly pretty insane, his talent offensively. I think some of the questions, the defense, this team wasn't good defensively. I think they need Zion and Ingram to commit defensively, and then the rest of the players will fall into place. But that's one of the big things. The three-pointer doesn't really have it. I think it's fine. I mean, he just doesn't really score there. I also think Point Zion is something we did see for the last half of the season, and I'd expect them to keep doing it. It's very exciting seeing him run pick and roll, seeing him bring the ball up the court, and he has the abilities. He's a good passer, average 4 assists a game. That number was higher when he was running point guard. So yeah, I think, this is the new NBA. A 6'7", super athletic, like 250-pound or even heavier guy can bring the ball up the court and run a pick and roll and get to the rim or make a pass to a three-point shooter, and that's obviously incredible. And then obviously the health is also still sort of a question, just because of his unique body type and because he is a bit injury prone. So hopefully he can stay healthy and continue to amaze us every night. At center, Jonas Valanciunas. Last year, he averaged 17 points and 12.5 assists. I think he's a very good offensive player from the post, in the paint. He is a traditional center, though. So one of my questions is role in the offense. He shot like 1-3 a game last year, okay percentage, but I wouldn't expect him to be a stretch big. So is he going to be setting screens? Is he going to be in the dunker spot? It'll be interesting to see. There's also potential of him, sort of being the vocal point of a bench unit offense, which also could be good. Obviously, you want to use his scoring because that's one of his best abilities. He's also going to help out on the glass. He's a very good rebounder. Defensively, it's a question mark because he's not very fast, and he is big, and I think he's an okay rim protector, but apart from that, he's a bit of a liability. So we'll see how they manage defensively between Graham and Valanciunas. As I said, I think the big thing is getting contributions from Ingram and Zion on that end. Off the bench, Tomas Satoransky averaged 8 points and 5 assists last season. He's a good playmaker. I'd expect him to be a very solid backup point guard for them. That's about it. Josh Hart averaged 9 points and 8 rebounds. He's a great rebounder, very good defender, very good hustle guy. Off the bench, I think the Pelicans do have a bit more defense. I think, Josh Hart could be a part of very good lineups. You could put him in for Graham to get a lot more size. You can do a lot of different things in lineups with Josh Hart because he is such a good defender, and he does fit well. He has good size, can play multiple positions. Najee Marshall, who last year averaged 8 points and 5.5 rebounds. He's also a very good defender, very athletic. He's also a smart passer in transition. I expect him to get some minutes just because this team does need defense, and he can provide that. And I think some of the transition potential with him and Zion is exciting. Trey Murphy, who they drafted, he's 6'9", he's a good shooter, and he has defensive potential. He's not super heavy or strong, but he is super long and has good hands. So, I'd also expect him to play because, he does fit well having a shooter out there. Having shooting out there is very important for the Pelicans with Zion. And then Jackson Hayes, who last season averaged 7.5 points and 4.5 rebounds. He hasn't been great so far. We'll see if he can turn it around. There has been rumors that he's developing a three-point shot. So, if that starts happening, then he could be involved a lot more if he can space the floor. So overall, I think the Pelicans will be a 10 seed. I think they have the talent to be higher than that, but I just don't think they have enough defense. You look at the starting lineup: Graham, Alexander Walker, Ingram, Zion, and Valanciunas. None of those guys were above average defenders last year. I think only Ingram has the potential to be. So I think they just don't have enough decent defense, but offensively they're very talented. Graham, Ingram, Zion, that's going to be super, super explosive and fun to watch. So yeah, I think they'll be better than the bad teams because of their offense, but won't be good enough to, reach the top 6. I could see them being the 9 seed. I could see them being the 8 seed, but can't really go much higher than that. So yeah, but also once they do reach the play-in, I think they could be an exciting team. And I think just because of how high scoring they could be, I think, they could cause an upset. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more NBA content, and I'll see you guys next time.